all these people online, they think my life is amazing. I used to think that my life was just mundane. So I started thinking, okay, let me see it from their perspective. And once I started doing that, then I started to enjoy my life better because I was like, wow, this is different than everyone. And I'm very grateful to have this type of life. So why not just, go out there, have fun, and just make sure that I'm giving it my all.
She's a professional tennis player, a content creator, a coach, and an entrepreneur. We're joined by Britney Chiu. What is it like to return a 120-mile-per-hour serve?
After you get to a certain level and after you start seeing the balls coming faster, it gets pretty regular. I'm always practicing with my brother, serves average 120. So it's always been a challenge to just return his serve in practices. And then after I see it a lot, then it becomes the normal, right?
And your brother was a spark for you to start playing tennis.
I've always looked up to my brother ever since I was little. We have such like a great bond as siblings. We're basically best friends, never really fight at all. So growing up, he was always put into different sports, and then eventually tennis became his main focus. He was on the tennis court for maybe 8 hours a day. And then because he's on there, I'm also just there in the corner, sitting on the court. And yeah, I looked up to him so much that I wanted to do everything that he did. So that's kind of how I started playing tennis.
How often do you guys train together now?
Pretty much every day. I mean, this past year, a little less because I've been injured, but I've been drilling him. So I drill him when we have time just because we don't really have a set coach. So we kind of just train together, hit together. Luckily, this year or like the past few months, we've found an academy. So now he can hit with higher level players rather than being stuck with me all the time.
Your journey hasn't been easy. You said you've been dealing with injury for the past 9 months.
So I had a little bit of tendonitis in my forearm here, like tennis elbow. I was playing matches and also practicing for like 2 to 3 hours a day. So I think I was overusing it. I was also doing a serve challenge at the time. So I think that might have pulled it as well. And then because I'm editing, I found out that might have prevented it from healing as well, just because I'm constantly on the computer or on my phone. So because of that, it just never was able to rest properly. I've been slowly getting back these past few weeks.
What's been the toughest part mentally as you've come back from injury?
Not being on the court, not even like thinking about playing, and also just the whole change in routine just like really struck me because I mean, as athletes, it's like our sport is almost our identity. Like that is us. So without being able to do that, I kind of was a little lost, didn't really know what to do. Thankfully, with social media, I was like, okay, let me devote more time into social media, just trying to be positive. I would be going to the gym, and then at one point I stopped going to the gym because I think I lost a little bit of motivation. After maybe the 3-month mark, I realized I was like, am I actually going to be okay? Am I going to go back to how I was before? So then all of those thoughts coming in at once. And then also I have a lot more time on my hands without tennis. So a lot more time to think as well.
What brought you peace and joy instead of getting caught in, oh man, I'm injured, this stinks?
Luckily, my family was opening a bakery. So at that time, they needed someone to do social media. They needed someone to design the menu and also just help set up the whole bakery. I spent a lot of time doing that as well.
For Britney specifically, when you feel stressed, what do you like to do?
Depends on my mood, but I think right now what I like to do is I wind down by journaling at night. That's a big one. And then lately I've been watching a lot of like K-dramas and shows. A lot of people like to doom scroll on their phones, but for me it's like whenever I'm scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or even watching YouTube, I'm like analyzing it, studying it to try to see how to work it into my own content. So now I'm like watching movies and shows because that actually turns my brain off a little bit more.
You're obviously providing a ton of value and you're sharing your journey to come back to play professionally. What are some of the biggest lessons you've learned in your content creation journey?
For me, the most important is to have fun with it, but at the same time, it's a grind. Especially with me, it's like I've always been trying to post consistently, whether it's every single day or every other day. So it's devoting that time to it, and it's also keeping consistent. I've been doing this for about 2 years. Now I have the confidence in myself to say like I can stick to something if I really want to. And even on the days that I don't want to, I can still, make myself do it. And then that consistency also translates into my training. And luckily, like growing up, I think that's been kind of built into me.
Yeah, everything affects everything. So you're giving yourself some wins off of the tennis court as well, just by staying consistent. So does the pressure to be positive or inspirational ever make your own internal struggles harder to deal with?
Social media is the highlights of everything. You're showing the best parts of you. So I think even in my lowest moments, I'm trying to figure out what are the positives that's going on and try to kind of block the negatives. When I'm struggling internally and then I'm putting out positive content, I'm trying to basically become the person that I'm showing. Especially this month, I've been showing a lot of more positive and motivational videos, kind of like, oh, you're doing fine, like this is your year, stuff like that. And it's not just a message to the people watching, but it's also a message for myself.
What's been the inspiration to start the content to begin with?
Growing up in my generation, it's like YouTube started, and I think I always wanted to be someone like them, like a creator or just someone famous. And for me, it was like, okay, I want to be as famous as Serena Williams. You don't even need to be playing tennis, and someone will know who you are, right? I always enjoyed creating videos, and I used to post them just on my Instagram. I didn't want my friends to see, so there was like a feature, kind of like trial reels right now, where it's you could post it and your followers like don't see it, right? And then I was at a tournament down in LA and there was a trend going on and that reel kind of just blew up. So from there, I was like, okay, people are following me now for my tennis content. They want to see me succeed. So I guess I'll just keep posting because that way it shows them something. And then from then on, that Newport trip, I was playing a PTT UTR tournament. And of course, they're notorious for having like bad line calls. So that's where I started clipping the bad line calls. There was one that was like this far out and I made like a funny video and that kind of took off. And then from then on, that's when I just kept going.
Hey, quick pause. If this conversation is providing you value, please take literally 5 seconds and hit that follow or subscribe button on your app. This is the best way to make sure that you don't miss any value from future episodes. Now back to the conversation. Back to your journey as a tennis player. What's your motivation to get back to playing professionally?
I've been out on tour for the past few years and I kind of see my potential of where I could be at. I didn't start playing tournaments until I was about 16. I was playing 16 in 16s and then COVID hit. So then I didn't play. And then I basically just went straight into pros. So I started playing at 4, but no tournaments until I was 16. So I think going out there, I realized how much experience that everyone else has over me. So I want to give myself that time to say, okay, let's see how far I can make it. At the same time, now I'm training with a bunch of people and I'm like, wow, like these people are a couple hundred in the world already. And then also hitting with people around the world. I'm like, wow, I can hang with these people. So I want to see where it takes me and where my limits are. So I just don't want to leave with any regrets. I just want to see how far I can go.
And do you have a quote or a saying that sticks out in your mind that has helped you over the years?
I think when I had a really rough time, the quote that I had was to change my perspective. When I was going through a tough patch in my tennis career, I was losing every single week. I think I was playing like 20 something weeks out of the year and I was losing first round almost 2/3 of it. I was traveling. I was thinking money wise, I'm just losing money. What am I doing here? And then also whenever I'm traveling, people are like, oh, wow, you get to travel the world. You get to see everything. And I'm like, no, this is like work. Like I go from hotel to court and just practice all day. I don't really see the outsides. And I think the change my perspective quote really helped because I realized I was like, I should be grateful for where I'm at. It is a job, but I shouldn't put so much pressure on myself because that's affecting my performance as well. So it's changing my perspective. It's seeing all these people online. They think my life is amazing. I used to think that my life was just mundane. So I started thinking, okay, let me see it from their perspective. And once I started doing that, then I started to enjoy my life better because I was like, wow, this is different than everyone. And I'm very grateful to have this type of life. So why not just, go out there, have fun, and just make sure that I'm giving it my all.
I love that you posted that coaching has started teaching you more about the game?
My whole tennis career, I've been a very hard hitter, so in tennis, all I do is hit hard. I don't really think much strategically. I focus on one thing and only do that one thing, and then I can't really switch gears. So after coaching and teaching people different skills and also strategy, I've realized I was like, "Wait, this is how it should be." And if I could implement this into my own game, then I'll be a completely different player. Kind of like lately, I've been picking up chess a little bit, so I was like, tennis is really like a chess match. And if I can add that to my game, I already hit really hard. I have good shots. It's just as long as I make sure that I'm doing the right things, then, I can be a better player overall. And then also, before it would take me a few points or up to a few games to even catch my mistakes, versus now I'm looking at it kind of like a step back, like seeing what did I do wrong there? How do I fix it? Before it's like I was all a feeling player. So I was like, if I don't feel the ball, I don't know what to do. Versus now it's like because I'm teaching people the basics and the step by step, then I can kind of pinpoint like, okay, maybe my hand didn't go through there. Maybe I didn't drop the racket there. And then I'll test it. And then eventually within 1 or 2 points, I'll catch my mistakes and then just be able to kind of focus back in.
Yeah, it's almost like a hack, and I've witnessed this myself firsthand, is when you start to teach others, you have to see it from another perspective so that they can understand it as well, and I think you're experiencing that firsthand, and it's helped you. What are some of the highest leverage habits that you have?
When I was at my top, of course, just working out every day, going outside is definitely a big one. There was a few weeks where I would just stay inside and my mentality was draining, like it was declining. I just wasn't in a good headspace. And then my brother was like, it's because you haven't been outside. So then I go outside, soak in some sun, and I was like, all of a sudden I was so happy. So definitely making sure that I'm going outside each day is a positive. And I guess little wins here and there. I mean, making my bed in the morning, making sure I'm sticking to like my skincare routine, my nighttime routine. That way, it gives me a little bit of structure and control. I've realized, especially when you're traveling and moving around so much, having stuff you're familiar with and your routine allows you to feel like you're in control rather than, you're all over the place. So that's a really big one. And I think that overall that just keeps me calm. And then of course with tennis, learning to balance my expectations versus reality is a big one.
Brittany, the idea of simple wins is more than just a scoreboard. What does simple wins mean to you?
I think simple wins is like small goals, like especially we always think about like big dreams and getting to the top, but those small wins are going to help you build it up to the top. And I think a lot of people overlook that.
You're sharing a ton of value and the behind the scenes of your journey as a professional tennis player. Where can people find you online?
So I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. All Britney Chiu 04. And on my Instagram and TikTok, I share little funny clips or, a little bit of day in the lives, maybe some motivational stuff. On my YouTube, it's a bit more long form content. Hopefully, I'll be pushing out more now that I'm competing again, but that's more of the behind the scenes of what it's like to be at these tournaments, what it's like to travel, and also just more about my personality.
Yeah, Brittany, you have a great personality. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I have one final question for you. Who else would benefit from listening to this conversation? If you have someone in mind, go ahead and share the episode with them right now. If you don't think of anyone immediately, go ahead and leave us a review on whatever platform you're on so people just like you can find the episode. Thank you for your time. Stay strong.